Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm Kelly Manzone. Welcome back. For today's class, we are going to be addressing the superficial back line. That has been the theme for the month of October. We're going to need our stick mobility bundle. So that's the 2 long sticks, 1 short stick. And if you don't own stick mobility, you could use anything that you have, PVC pipe, wooden dowel, or broom. We're also going to need access to a sidewall, to a ceiling, or beam overhead. And if you have any issues with your knees, you could always use a folded up towel or a pillow. Now, we're also going to be doing the prone shoulder press later in class, so you might want that towel to rest your forehead on. Getting started, we're going to begin with our 1 long stick in the prone position. I put this in last week's class. I had a couple DMs and people really enjoyed it, so I figured I would start off today's class with this drill. So we're going to come down into the prone position. We're going to open up our back in hip line, and you're going to take your stick out to the side, arms extended, and when you're holding onto the stick, you're actually going to push and crush into the stick. So both ends pushing inward, and that way we're going to give ourselves a little bit of leverage so that we could go deeper into our stretch and keep our shoulders a little bit more connected to the floor. Now, I am going to be obviously looking at the camera. What I want you to focus on in the drill is your eyes are going to go in the opposite direction of where your foot is going to land. And what I mean by that is I'm going to begin by looking down. I'm going to bend my right knee, open the hip. Now my right foot is going to go towards the left side, and then my eyes are going to look over to the right. And you're just going to slowly inhale, exhale. Never work into pain. And again, I'm pushing into the stick for a little bit of leverage so that I'm able to keep my lower body connected to the floor. Everybody's flexibility and mobility is different. So again, I want you to be mindful to never work into pain during class. And it's also great to kind of take some mental notes or write things down if there's anything that you have any questions about or you want to address. Let's do 4 more. Nice and slow. Again, eyes in the opposite direction. Breathing and opening up our hip line and our lower back. So let's do 2 more. Excellent. 1 more. And now come neutral. Take a moment. Slide the palms in. Come up. And now we're going to grab our other long stick. And we're going to take our sticks to our shoulders to create a little bit of a stick mobility train track, as I call it. So again, sticks on the shoulders. I'm going to take my right knee. I'm going to keep it down. And working into the hamstring, I'm going to extend that left leg. Taking your palms to the sticks, you're going to slide your shoulders down and back, and then hip hinge forward. Holding for a moment, drawing the tailbone back, and then since we're doing a dynamic warm-up, we're not going to hold it long. Then you're going to bend the knee, flatten that foot, take a breath, inhale, exhale, pull back. And the sticks on our shoulders, again, help to add a bit of length through the spine. Excellent. Let's do 2 more. Draw back, flex, toes upward. Again, working into the posterior chain. Now, holding here, we're going to windshield wiper our toes. So you're going to keep the heel down, toes flex, and then internally rotate and externally rotate. Similar to what we do with bow and arrow, we're just going to floss the fascia lines here. And again, keeping the back long, come neutral, take a moment, bend, and now we're going to transition to the other side. So left knee down, right leg forward, find your alignment, begin that hip hinge, lowering the chest, take a breath or 2, and then bend the knee. Squeeze into that left glute, getting a little bit of a stretch into that hip flexor, and draw back once again. Inhale, exhale, flatten the foot, bend the knee. Let's do a few more before we go into that flossing like we did on our other side. And it's okay if you're using the longer sticks like I am and they're crossing in the back like that. Now hold flatten out the back, and a little bit of that windshield wiper, turning the toes in and out. So again, we're working into the fascia in the bottom of our feet, up through the posterior line, hamstring and glute, and obviously towards the foot and ankle, into the calf, and then slowly come out of it. Excellent. Using our sticks, I'm going to keep this diagonal here so you can see my alignment. I'm going to anchor with the ball of my back right foot and extend the left leg out to the side. We're going to work into that foot ankle complex, so I don't want your toes to slide out. I want you to try to keep the foot flat, toes facing forward. Now, using the sticks, and again, stretching out the bottom of the feet, which is part of our superficial back line, we're going to hinge, getting a little stretch through the inner thigh, and again, through that right foot. Come forward, nice flat back, so we're using the sticks for our leverage, and again, press back. So I'm getting into the hamstring here too, and into the groin and inner thigh, and slowly come forward. Take a breath, pull back. Good, let's do one more, and then we're gonna add on. So we're coming forward, draw back. Now this time, I want you to release top of the foot. You're gonna draw your seat now towards the heel, and flex and rotate the toes upward towards the ceiling. Then rock forward, and one more time, rotate and draw back. Now, if you have any issues with your knees, you could stay higher up and just simply rotate and open from the half kneeling position. Good. Come neutral, slide the sticks in, and now we're going to go to the other side. So left knee is down, right leg is extended out laterally to our side. Take your sticks, create those train tracks, and we're going to anchor with the ball of the back foot. Inhale, exhale. Now, I mention it every class. I prefer diaphragmatically breathing. Now, obviously, I'm going to be talking throughout class, so I'm not going to be practicing it as much, but I want you to close your mouth, rest the tongue on the roof of your mouth, and try to breathe through your nose. Now, again, we're going to do two more here. We're pushing back, getting into the toes, getting into the calf of that left leg, and then stretching into the lateral line and posterior line of our right. Hold, transition to the top of the foot, modify as needed, and then rotate toes upward towards the ceiling. And then rock forward, again, using those sticks for leverage, length through the spine, lift the belly. No tension in the shoulders. Good, rotate up. Return, flat foot. Let's do one more. Draw back, pause here. Excellent. Then upright, use the sticks, slide in. We're going to come to stand. Take a moment, shake your legs out. Now, I'm going to go a little bit on a diagonal here. We're going to take both sticks in front. Take a second, fix the feet, they're underneath that hip line. Roll the shoulders down and back. Now, our arms are not above our shoulder line. They're slightly below the shoulder line. And we're going to do some shrugs. Just shrug upward, back, and down. So again, I'm pushing into the floor, maybe just about 20% of tension. Shrug up, back, and down. Good. Chin is neutral, you're looking forward. In a moment, we're going to work into the back of our neck because that's, again, our superficial posterior line draws all the way up from the bottom of the foot to the back of the neck. Let's do one more. Up, back, and down. Now, from here, you're going to do a slight chin tuck. Drop the chin to your chest. Inhale, exhale, and then upward towards the ceiling. Never going into pain. Again, breathing. Let's do one more, and then we're going to add on. Feels really good. Now come neutral, dip your left ear towards your left shoulder. Getting into our secondary breathing muscles, levator, scalenes. Let's do one more. Good, now up and over to the right. So we're keeping the shoulder down away from the ear, right? And we have two more. Excellent, one more. Come neutral, and let's do 3 complete neck circles in one direction and then in the opposite direction. So I'm going to drop my chin to the chest, left ear, work my way up and around. Take your time. Arms are staying extended. You're still pushing lightly down into the floor. And now, changing direction. Breathe. Notice your alignment. And again, make sure you're not holding your breath. You'll get a little lightheaded if you are. Good. And come neutral. Take a moment. Step back away from your sticks. You're going to angle the bottom of the sticks to face in towards you. We're going to do a standing cat and cow. From here, hip hinge forward. Now, I want to kind of get into the lats a little bit. So what you're going to do is simply kind of roll the knuckles forward just a little bit. From here, you're going to drop the belly. You have that tip of the tailbone. And then you're going to inhale. On the exhale, push into the sticks, push into the feet, and round your spine. So you're dropping your chin to your chest, and then release on the next inhale. Exhale, again, push down into the feet, drive down into the sticks, scoop out your middle. You're going to kind of tuck your tailbone under, and gently release. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale, scoop, lift the belly. Again, those knuckles are rotated slightly forward, hold, and then gently release. Drive into the sticks, slowly come to standing. And even though we're focusing on our posterior line, I just want to add in a quick standing back bend. So you're going to take your sticks now into the midline arch of your foot. Hold up nice and high. Push down into your feet. Now, it's important to squeeze and engage your glutes and think of lifting up and out of your lumbar spine rather than just crunching back. So think of lifting up and out. Again, I'm pushing down into the sticks, squeezing the glutes, arms open out to the side, getting a nice stretch through the front line, and then slowly come forward. Deep breath in. I'm going to slide my hands up. Exhale, lean back, squeeze into the glutes, slight tuck of the chin as you're looking upward. Hold here. And slowly come upright. Excellent. Now, from here, we're going to work into our feet just for a moment because later on we're going to get into some calf raises. You can still use both of your sticks. You're going to keep them in front, angle the bottom of the sticks in towards you, top of the stick out. Soften into your knees. So now you're in your horse stance. We're simply going to take our left foot and releve, right into the ball of the foot, lifting the heel into the calf. From here, hold, and now do a circle outward. It's important to note that you create the circle from the foot ankle complex and not the knee and hip. Now, circle inward. Again, maintaining your horse stance. Excellent. Let's do one more circle and release. Now I'm just going to kind of switch. Right foot in your horse stance, releve, working into those toes. This is important if you do like a lot of running. I've been doing a lot of rowing and cycling lately and walking. This feels great. So let's do 2 more, and then we're going to add on. Take the next one, hold here, circle outward first. Again, leading with the foot and ankle rather than knee and hip. Let's do one more. Complete the circle. Now inward. And you'll kind of find if you have any sticky spots. So like I said at the beginning of class, take notes. Get to know what your body feels like from day to day and what you need to address. And gently release. Now we're going to go down to a single stick to open up the lateral lines and to free up the hips a little bit. Going into our bow and arrow, your stance is slightly wider than hip width. You're going to take your stick to the outside of the midline of your right foot, maybe about 2 or 3 inches out from the foot line. Now, the left hand is going to come up, the camera flips me, so even though this is my right side, I'm going to call it my left. Thumb is going to face down with the palm facing out. Bottom right hand is going to find the sticker. With your bow and arrow, I want you to press out with the hips first, and then push out with the arms. So that bottom shoulder is going to be relaxed. You're going to push down into the feet. Top left arm, you're going to draw back, creating that bow. We're going to floss. So we're taking the arms forward onto the sagittal plane and then outward onto the frontal plane. Now the hips are staying still and the chest is staying still. So just your arms are moving. Good. Let's do one more. Forward onto the sagittal, outward onto that frontal plane. Hold here. Now take that tailbone under. Let's open the front line a little bit. Angle and look upward towards the ceiling. Come back to neutral and slowly come out of your bow and arrow. Bow and arrow is definitely one of my favorite stick mobility drills. I think I do it almost every day. Right hand, thumb is going to face down, palm facing forward. Bottom hand is going to find that sticker, just like we did on the other side. Send the hips out to your right first. Second, press out with the arms, and there's going to be slight leverage with that top right arm, getting into that lat. Now, flossing. Arms forward onto the sagittal plane, and then out to the side. So as you can see here, my hips are staying still, my chest is staying still, so I'm not moving with the stick. I'm trying to just kind of isolate the arm movement to really get into the fascia of the lateral lines. Let's do one more. Now hold here. Again, you're pushing down into your feet. It's best to be barefoot if possible. Squeeze the glutes, and then angle, look upward towards the ceiling. Hold here for a moment. Then realign and slowly come out of your stretch. Take a second to roll out through the shoulders. Now, before we go onto our belly for our prone shoulder press, we're going to do a few shoulder dislocates. So to start, I want you to claim your horse stance. You could use your short stick or long stick. And we're going to pull apart to activate that posterior line. Oftentimes, you'll see people kind of go into an anterior tilt or have rib flare or the chin jetting forward. In your horse stance, you want to push down to the feet, tuck that tailbone under. The front line is going to light up, and then when you pull apart on the stick, you should feel that posterior line. Eyes forward, chin neutral. Now you're only taking your arms back to where you personally are comfortable. So I'm hypermobile, as you can see, and I can comfortably go all the way back. And as you're coming forward, push into the stick and gently lower. Now the objective is, again, to only go to where you personally are comfortable. All fingertips are going to stay connected to the stick, right? So they're not going to pull, come off from the stick. Draw back. Good. Come forward. Push into the stick. So we're just using this as a primer before we get into our prone press. Excellent. Come forward. Push. So let's finish with one more. Pull apart. Keep those shoulders down and back. Notice if you're compensating anywhere. Come forward. Push into the stick and gently lower. Excellent. Now's the time to grab your folded up towel or pillow. Because I'm going to be speaking to the camera, I'm not opting to use a pillow or a towel, but what you would do is you would rest your forehead on it. We're coming down to our belly. Using our short stick, if you don't have a short stick, you could still use the longer stick for this drill. I, again, have excessive mobility. So I do realize that sometimes when I perform this exercise, my arms are elevated too high. Now, I want you to be mindful if you have any shoulder discomfort or if you're starting to kind of hit the top of the head. If you have any pain, you do not need to do this exercise. You can come to stand and do a few more shoulder dislocates. So lying on your belly, you're going to kind of take your legs into a T shape. We're going to watch what's happening with our pelvic alignment, right? So you're going to draw your navel in, slight tuck under, so the hip bones are going to be pressing down into the floor because we really want to work through the shoulders and not compensate with the spine. So I'm going to take an overhand hold on the short stick. You're resting your forehead on the towel or pillow that you have, keeping the neck neutral. Watch that pelvic alignment. Now, pulling apart on the stick, you're going to elevate the arms and draw back. You're going to engage so you'll feel mid-trapezius and then push into the stick as you come forward and gently lower. So we elevate, begin to pull apart, slowly draw back. So your forehead, again, is going to be a little bit lower, push into the stick, and slowly lower down to the ground. Now, I think that when my head is all the way down, you're not going to be able to hear me as well. So that's why I have my head a little bit higher up than I normally would if I was doing this without. Now, we're going to go for 4 more, nice and controlled. So get your setup, rest your forehead, hopefully you can hear me. You're going to pull apart, draw back, squeeze, come forward, push into the stick, maintaining that height, and gently lower. Let's do 3 more. Elevate, pull apart, maintain that alignment. So you don't want this big drop with the stick as you come forward. Good. And gently lower. 2 more. Elevate, pull apart. Again, you're resting your head on your pillow or your towel. Push into the stick and lower. Love this exercise. 1 more. Pull apart. Elevate. Squeeze. Push into the stick. Slowly take it forward and gently lower. When I did kettlebell sport back in the day, this exercise was a blessing. It saved me. Okay, so now that we did our prone press, we're going to take our longer stick and we're going to go and leverage it against that side wall. Now, I'm going to take the stick underneath my midline. And in our plank, we're going to keep our hips nice and balanced, so we're not swaying from side to side. And we're going to do slow, 5 controlled single arm row. Now, because I can't maneuver around and hook it this way, I'm just going to stay on my right side. So, but you'll be switching to your left. Take your left palm to the floor. You're going to have the stick into the right hand, and you're going to walk out into your plank. Take your tailbone, slight tuck under so you really light up that front line, squeeze your glutes, legs are wide, and you're going to keep that right shoulder pack pushing back into the wall. Inhale, exhale, row, and lower. Ready? Pull, breathe, and lower. We have 3 more. Inhale, exhale, pull, activate that lat, keep that alignment, good. 2 more, pull, nice. 1 more, push back into that wall, create tension, and release. Slowly lower to the knees, take a moment, and shake it out. If you need to turn around, depending on how your room is all set up, turn around, try the other side. Okay, so pack that shoulder. Now you're going to have your right hand down, and the stick is going to be in your left hand. Palm below the shoulder line. Walk the legs out. Slight tuck of that tailbone right, so you light up that front line, neck long. Inhale, exhale, pull. You're pushing into that wall. So the more you push back, the more tension you're going to create. Again, push and pull. Breathe. We have 2 more. Not too fast. Right? So you're really working for it. 1 more. Stay nice and square. Lower. Take a moment, lower to the knees, and shake it out. So, if you need a sip of water, grab a sip of water now. We're going to take it to stand, and we're going to go for some Dumpy Squats. I love Dumpy Squats. Before we get into those, calf raises. So we're going to stand tall, take your left hand on top, right on the bottom, slide those shoulders down and back. Eyes are going to be forward, and work again into our superficial back line, going into the calf raises. Good. Releve, lower the heels. Breathe. Let's do 4 more. Up 1. Nice. Up 2. Up 3. 1 more. Hold 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, take a moment, flatten the feet. Let's get a quick stretch. Left leg forward, right leg back. Get a nice calf stretch. Bend into that back right knee. Nice. Changing sides. Right leg forward, left leg back, staggered stance. Hinge forward a little bit. Get a gentle stretch. Then bend into that back knee. Lift the chest. Nice. Now, Dumpy Squat. So I'm using the ceiling above me. The stick does make scuff marks, but Magic Eraser works every time. So, pushing the stick up into the ceiling or beam, whatever you have available to you. We're going to do 6 Dumpy Squats, 3 with the right hand on top, 3 with the left hand on top. So we've worked into our posterior line a little bit. Now we're going to strengthen it with a squat. So I want you to take your toes slightly turned out, and again, everybody's mobility and flexibility is different. When you descend down into your Dumpy Squat, I really want you to push and drive up into the wall. So the stick shouldn't come off. Pushing into the wall upward with about 70 to 80% of your strength. So this should be challenging. And instead of the elbows going out to the side or your shoulders tensing up towards your neck, take the shoulders down, elbows are going to come in, and watch the alignment with your pelvis. So, again, pushing up. As you can see, I'm descending into my squat. And now, elbows are in, shoulders are down and back. Gripping the ground with the feet, coming upward from the floor. Again, push. So you're going to pull yourself down to the earth as you're pushing up into the stick. And then press yourself up and out of your squat. Good. Push. Come down. Pause. Right? No tension in the neck. Drive up. Excellent. Switch. Now, we are on a 2 count. We're going to go slower and do the last 3 on a 4 count. Take your position. Down 1. Down 2. Down 3. Down 4. Hold for 4. Hold 1. Hold 2. Hold 3. On 4. Up 1. Up 2. 3. 4. Good. Down 1. Keep driving up 2. 3. 4. Hold for 4. 1. 2. 3. On 4. Drive up 1. 2. Should be trebling. 3. 4. Make this one your best. Up 1. 2. 3. 4. Hold for 4. 1. 2. Keep pushing. 3. 4. Up 1. 2. 3. 4. Excellent. Simple and extremely effective. I love using the Dumpy Squat as a primer for goblet squats. Okay, so next exercise, we're just going to do 3 on each leg. So I'm a big fan, I love RDLs. The whole RDL series by Stick Mobility is fabulous, and I do them often. We're going to use our short stick for just a little bit of stability, because we're going to work in a little bit of plane work, going internally and externally rotating. So, taking your stick into the right hand. I'm going to demonstrate one before we do it together. Left leg is going to be down. I'm going to elevate the right hip hinge forward. So here's that RDL. Then I'm going to internally come inward in our little airplane series that stick mobility has, and then outward, keeping again that foot and hip parallel facing down, and then come up to stand. So we're going to do 3 of these on each side, working that foot ankle complex all the way up into the hip, and so on. So pack that shoulder, elevate your right foot, hip hinge forward. Focal point, core drawn in, come inward, nice and slow, outward. Take a moment to realign, come to stand. Option to put the foot down or to keep it elevated. Hip hinge, don't forget to breathe. Now, I always find one side is a lot stronger or more stable. And right now, I'm on my left leg, which is my dominant side. And slowly come up. One more. Soft knee, hip hinge, back foot flexed. Inward. Good. Nice and controlled. Outward. Realign and slowly come to stand. Ooh, a few of those and you get the burn. Here we go. Less dominant leg. So this might not be pretty. Okay, 6 in the left hand, right. Elevate that left. Hip hinge. Let's go out first this time. And then inward. You can feel, oh, you can definitely feel a difference. Come through center. Slowly come to stand. Again, I love exercises like this because it really allows us to kind of find out what some of our weaknesses are. You might not be able to go as far on one side, so we just have one more. Good. Again, watch your alignment, push down into the stick, but don't rely on it too much. Open out. It's okay if you have to tap your foot down. If you lose your balance, come back through center slowly and come to stand. Well done. All right, so grab some water. We're going to come down and we're in our stretching portion of class. I'm always amazed at how fast this goes by. I plan everything out ahead of time and I have class all written down on my whiteboards, and I always have more in class. And then I look at the clock and I'm like, oh boy, we have to get wrapping it up. Okay, so hamstring stretch. If you are struggling with your back alignment and your tailbone keeps coming off the ground, bend your right knee. Now, we're going to take our stick behind the left hamstring. You could go overhand or underhand, whatever you personally are comfortable with. I just don't want you creating a lot of tension with your upper body, meaning like shrugging the shoulders up towards your ears. I'm going to go overhand with a slight bend in my elbows and kind of scooping the tailbone under. And I'm going to draw on the ceiling an invisible Z, kind of like a little zigzag. And you'll notice that the leg might start to come a little bit closer. If you're really restricted and you're all the way out here or slightly bent, that's okay. Like I said, everybody's different. And then take a moment, length through the back, close your eyes, breathe, hold. Keep again that foot flexed. Getting a little quiver here, right? Hold 4 counts. Again, no tension in the shoulders or neck. And now, bend into the knee. Take a moment. Inhale, exhale, and flex upward. Once again, extend that leg. So watch that the opposite knee is not going out to the side. Try to keep it in line with the hip. And release. Well done. Going to the other side. So again, Modification, which I'm demonstrating, you're going to have that knee bent, or you could extend the leg long. You could go overhand or underhand with your palm position, depending on how you feel. Again, drawing on the ceiling first, that little zigzag, right? That fascial line will start to give, it'll creep in a little bit closer towards you. And I just have just a gentle pull on the stick, not much. Take a moment, realign, hold. Again, no tension in the shoulders or neck. You have that slight tip of the tailbone so the lower back is pressed down into the floor, and then bend into the knee. Take a moment. Deep breath in, exhale, re-lengthen, push your heel upward towards the ceiling. Hold here 4 counts. Hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, on 4, gently release. Now, before we come to a seated position, take your stick to your side and just do a little bit of a wiper, knees in one direction, and then the opposite. Good. Now, I do this stretch often in class because every time I do a straddle or the QL stretch, I'll get a DM or 2 and they say, please have it in next week's class. So if you really struggle with the straddle position, you could always sit on that towel or use the pillow, and that will help. Now, again, I have a lot of mobility, so I'm not going to take my legs completely out to the side. I want you to work with what is comfortable for you. You're going to take your stick to the midline of your foot. So again, we're working into that back line. We're going to flex our feet, cross one hand over the other, and bend the elbows, proud chest. So you want to avoid sinking under. Now from here, as you bend the elbows, if you're able to, I want you to take your chest slightly forward, take a deep breath in, and now on your exhale, wrap the toes, or the foot I should say, over the top of the stick. You're pushing down into your legs. Again, sitting nice and tall. Now, flex, and you may find the legs will slide out a little bit wider. And again, everybody is different. Take a moment, deep breath in, and then wrap the top of the foot. You're also getting into the ankle, so we have a little bit of plantar and dorsiflexion through the feet. Hold, and release. Keeping your right hand on the stick. Take your left off, left hand, spiral. So we're not going to just throw our back into it. Place the palm, eyes follow the head. Take your outside right shoulder down away from the ear. You could leverage it, draw it in a little bit. Good. Coming through center, left crosses over the right. Again, sitting tall, right palm to the floor. Eyes leave the head, looking behind you. Drop that outside left shoulder. And come back through center. Take a moment, release, shake it out. Slide the heels in. Now, this one's not so much a direct superficial backline stretch, but I love snake reach, and I just wanted to add that into today's class. So our left leg is, I apologize, our right leg is going to be forward, left leg is back. I'm going to windshield wiper that back foot a little bit and shin. Now the stick is going to be to the inside of the right thigh. Left hand is going to come up, thumb facing down, and now you're going to extend your right arm out to the side. So we have the space between our shirt and the stick, and you're simply going to thread the arm through, catch the stick, and rotate, squeeze that left glute, and wrap. Now, if having the arm extended like this is too intense, I'm going to show you a modification. You would bend the elbow. So just walk that hand down and have a bent elbow. If you want to intensify, you could lengthen, you could open palm and push forward with the hand. So you have a few options here. Looking over your right shoulder, slowly come out of it. Take a breath and then rotate back into it. Left hip facing the camera, squeezing that glute, hold. Coming back through center to come out of it, open into the, rotate into the open side, bend the elbow, slide the hand down, and release. Take a moment, shake it out, that feels so good. Now left leg is going to be forward. Stick now to the inside of the left thigh. Right shin is going to be windshield wiper turned in, top of the foot down. And the outside right hand, thumb's going to come up. Left, threads through. And then rotate into the stretch. Remember, if you need to modify, or this is your, if this is your more restricted side, you could bend that elbow. You're squeezing that right glute. Open, out, and then rotate back into the stretch. Hold here 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3, on 4, open, bend that elbow, slide the hand down, and release and roll it out. Coming to stand, so we're going to finish class in standing position with our second stick. We're doing 2 variations. First variation, you're a little bit wider than hip width. You're going to take both sticks out in front of you. Bottom of the stick angled inward, top of the stick angled outward. Now, my left arm, as I hinge forward with soft knees, my left arm is going to go directly out to the side, and my right arm is going to come forward on a diagonal. And I'm pushing down into the sticks. Your chin should clear over the top of the bicep. Breathe. Now, we're going to articulate our neck while we're holding this stretch. So you're going to inhale and exhale, eyes leading the head to the right and to the left. Pause. Come center, push into the sticks, upright coming out of the hip hinge. Right arm is going to go directly out to the side. Left is going to go on a diagonal. And again, driving down into the floor with the sticks. So your hips, we're not going to shift our hips. Think of like a kettlebell swing or hip hinge like a deadlift. Hold here. Breathe. Now articulate. Looking right and left. Excellent. And come center. Slowly upright. Now, we're going to go a little bit wider. Taking our sticks inside arch. Instead of the arm going across on a diagonal, we're going to send both arms to our left side. Hip hinging forward. From here, you're going to visualize kind of dipping that that right shoulder towards the right foot and hold. Move the neck. Excellent. Stay with it and breathe. Come neutral. Upright. Transition. Both arms. Send the hips back. Soft knees. So this bottom arm is also lengthened. And now I'm going to think of dipping that left shoulder towards the left foot. Hold here. Inhale and exhale. And now slowly come upright. Last stretch. Similar to what we started with earlier in class, we're going to now go into our wider position and just do one on each side. Both arms now are going to go over to my right. I'm going to take a significant bend now into the left knee, drawing like kind of, I should say, kind of feeling like you're pulling apart the floor. Hold here. Now that left shoulder is going down towards that left knee and foot. And through center, that left foot, toes are going to face forward. Instead of going forward into the foot, think of pulling your body weight back. Hold 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3, On 4, push off that right foot. Come to stand. Take the sticks in front. Heel toe in gently so you don't shock the hips. And that was today's mobility class. I'm Kelly Manzone at KelsBells88 on Instagram. And be sure to check out the Movement Made Better podcast that you could listen to on Apple or Spotify. And later today, this class, along with many others, I think this is like, there's over 200 classes on the Stick Mobility YouTube channel, where you can also find tutorials. Now, if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to reach out to me or to Stick Mobility. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.